Hey, Ted Saransky, Teddy Covers for Wager Talk TV. We're doing NFL division previews, getting ready for the release of my NFL season win report. That release comes out next Tuesday, the 20th of June, noon Pacific time, 3 p.m. Eastern. And we do it like that so everyone gets a fair chance to get the numbers. Over the years, this release has moved the market, at least modestly, for some of these win totals. 97 and 47 lifetime with the NFL season win reports. I started doing it back in 2001, including a 15-4 mark with the big tickets. We're going to talk NFC North today. And with all of these division previews, I'm doing the same way. I'm giving you a team that I like on my short list for betting over. I'm giving you a team I dislike on my short list for betting under. Then we'll talk about the other two teams in the division. When it comes to betting over in this division, the NFC North, there's one team that really stands out to me. I don't know if I'm going to get there, but I am tempted. That would be the Green Bay Packers. They're lined at 7.5 wins, basically minus 110 either way. They went 8-9 last year and missed the playoffs, and obviously Aaron Rodgers is gone. Okay, I understand. I remember when Brett Favre was gone, and there was some kid named Aaron Rodgers going to come in, and how good's he going to be? And I'm not for a minute saying that Jordan Love's going to be Aaron Rodgers, or even Jordan Love's going to be Aaron Rodgers in his first year with Green Bay. But the point is this: just because one quarterback leaves doesn't mean that the new quarterback isn't going to be any good. He's someone that they drafted in the first round, developed for several years, and made moves to make sure that he's going to be ready to go. You look at the offensive line, looks great, especially if Bakhtiari stays healthy. You look at what they did in free agency, not a lot. They lost more than they gained, but they didn't lose impact players. They brought in a couple of strong talents on the defense side of the football. Draft class, again, you improve your pass rush, bring in a couple of young receivers. Schedule-wise, they have an early bye week 6. NFC North teams play NFC South, the weakest division in football, and AFC West, a division that is supposed to be good. I'm not convinced it's going to be quite as good as expected. There are 3 extra games. Green Bay plays the Steelers, the Giants, and the Rams. Ain't none of those teams going to be elite. They're on the road the first 2 weeks. They only get 2 more road games before week 10. They have a Thursday night, 2 Sunday night, 2 Monday night games. 3 of them are in December. They're expected to be relevant. Packers 7.5 wins looks a little bit cheap for this better. You look at the Vikings at 8.5 wins. Juice to the over, minus 130. This is a team that went 13-4 last year. And everybody knows the Vikings are primed for regression. The markets know, again, they won 13 games last year. The line at 8.5 wins this year. And they're not the favorite to win the division, even in a division where Aaron Rodgers just left. And you have Chicago, who's likely to be a bottom feeder. They're still not favored, which tells you the markets aren't real high on Minnesota. Don't love the quarterback play, it's okay. Don't love the offensive line play, it's okay. They're not changing anything in terms of their offensive line starters. The same 5 guys are running it back, and it wasn't a great offensive line last year at all. From a free agent standpoint, we talked about Tomlinson earlier with Patrick Peterson's a big loss. Eric Kendricks, it's not like they're pretty big loss on the defense side of the football. They did bring in cornerback Byron Murphy, who I think is pretty good. And I don't know that it's going to be a difference maker for them. Like what they did in the draft. Jordan Addison is their impact player, and maybe Blackman, USC, coming as a 3rd rounder, could be an impact guy. But look, Detroit's improved. Chicago's improved. This is a team that's in for some regression. You look at their schedule-wise, NFC South, AFC West, like all the teams in this division. There are 3 extra games. Philadelphia, brutal. San Fran, brutal. Cincinnati, brutal. Ouch. One Thursday night, one Sunday night. They do have 2 TV games after Thanksgiving, so the network's expecting to be relevant. But only 2 home games between week 8 and week 16. Tough slate there. They have a week 13 bye real late. Minnesota primed for some regression, potentially some serious regression in 2023. I would not look to bet them up and over their win total. We look at the other 2 teams in the division. The Chicago Bears line 7.5 over minus 130. Again, this was a 3-14 team last year. My clients and I cashed a winning bet with the Bears season win total under a year ago. I'm probably not going to get there with an under with Chicago this year, even though they're likely to continue to be at or near the bottom of the standings in this division. Don't love the offensive line. You're talking about starting a rookie tackle this year. Justin Fields, a guy who I thought was great last year, considering what he had around him, which was absolutely nothing on the offensive line and absolutely nothing in the receiving core and no defense either. I thought it was really good. We'll see if that translates. They had money to spend in free agency this year. They haven't had that in years past. Really didn't lose anything this offseason. No team had more cap space to play with than the Bears this offseason. Again, this division place is NFC South, AFC West. They're three extras. Washington, Cleveland, Arizona, 2 of the 3 are bad. They have 3 sets of back-to-back road games before their late week 13 bye. That's tough. 1 Monday night game, no Sunday night games. We're not likely to see a lot of the Bears on TV this year. They're not going to get flexed in. And Chicago likely to be in another rebuilding campaign, but whether they can get to 8 wins, another question entirely. Lions lined at 9.5 wins, over -120. They were 9-8 last year, so a little bit of juice to the over. And when you start talking about Detroit, you're starting about the offensive line. Elite offensive line last year really was, even with the injuries that they had. They never ranked outside the top 10, the rankings of the offensive line rankings all year long. And this year they should be healthier. So it has the potential to be one of the best offensive line in football, which makes a big difference for a quarterback like Jared Goff. They had money to spend in the season. They brought in Marvin Jones, receiving. We talked about Cameron Sutton already. I like what they did in the secondary. Mosley, Gardner Johnson. This is a defense that was pretty bad last year, and they spent a lot of resources looking to fix that secondary this year. When you bring in a couple of veterans, that's a positive sign. The draft class, people didn't like the positions they got in their draft: running back, linebacker, tight end, safety as the top 4. Those are all first and second round picks, and they're all really good players. There's reasonable reason to think the Lions are going to be pretty good again this year. And again, they closed out last year 8-2, their last 10 ball game. They smacked Aaron Rodgers and the Packers in Green Bay with the playoffs on the line. There's things to like about Detroit. There's a reason that they're chalk in this division. AFC West opponents, NFC South opponents, their 3 extras are tough. Seattle, Baltimore, Dallas. 3 teams I'm in no rush to fade. They played 4 of their last 5 on the road in December. They're at New Orleans, Chicago, Minnesota, Dallas. That's not easy. And it's not like they're on TV every week. 2 Thursday night games, 1 Monday night game. That's it. If you're from Detroit, you already know the Lions, when they're hyped, don't necessarily live up to expectations. And I'm not convinced I can ask this team to win 10 games. If I'm playing the Lions, likely to be under their total, not going to be over. There's the NFC North. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more great content on Wager Talk TV.